Hello and welcome to another edition of the 31 Day Horror Challenge, days 6 and 7. Didn't have time to do a video last night. What I decided to do for these 2 days is watch an original and a remake. I've done this with The Fog. Now, this is the original Fog. A great film from the great John Carpenter. So, I mean, I've already seen this several times. Not seen it in a little while, probably about 10 years. So I watched that today. No, I didn't. I watched that last night. And today I watched the remake. Now, I'd never seen the remake before, and I've pretty much purposely avoided it. And I can tell why. But first off, what I'm going to do with these is it's what people should do with remakes now. There are so many of them. I'm going to judge these as standalone films. Well, I mean, I'm doing that with the original Fog anyway, but I'm going to judge the remake of The Fog as a standalone film. Because in terms of the story, it follows, it pretty much follows the original. There's just little tweaks here and there. But first off, we'll go with the remake from 2005, I believe. John Carpenter produced this, however, I believe his participation was minimal at best. I've had a look on the net to see what his thoughts are on the film. There aren't any. So I think his participation in this film is purely financial. But yeah, here we go. The first of, say this is day 6 and 7, yes, that's right. So yeah, the remake of The Fog. Yeah, it's pants. And it's not pants because it's a remake. I'll give remakes a chance. There have been some very good horror remakes. Films like Dawn of the Dead, The Hills Have Eyes. I liked the Texas Chainsaw remake. I thought that was rather good. But they have by and large been terrible. And I don't think I've seen even a bad one yet where I can say, well, you know, they tried to bring something different to it. They're all just cashing in on a film's notoriety. You know, that's why you get in films like I Spit on Your Grave being remade. It's a notorious film. It's not a beloved film. It's a film that most of the people I know who've seen it think it's crap. I think it's crap, but it was just notorious at the time. It's, you know, part of the video nasties. This remake of The Fog, it stars Tom Welling, who I've not seen in a while. He was in Smallville. He plays the Tom Atkins character. You know, Tom Atkins in the original is, you know, guy in his mid-40s, fisherman, looks like he could be a fisherman. Tom Welling doesn't look like he could be a fisherman. You know, I'm sorry if I'm stereotyping, but he looks like a guy in his, at the time, 10 years ago, early 20s, who should be in Calvin Klein adverts or something like that. So straight off the bat, he's not convincing at all. And that casting is purely down to, you know, this is what's known in America as a PG-13, so they're trying to get that teen girl crowd in. I'm guessing because he didn't do very well that didn't work. But there you go. But straight away you feel absolutely no connection to any of these characters. They are by the numbers horror film characters. There's nothing unique about them. They're all the same. You just don't care about them. You don't care about them. And it's a film in which you don't care about the protagonist or the antagonist. You know, at least with, you know, Friday the 13th sequels, they're not good films, but they're enjoyable. And you don't give a shit about them, but you actually like Jason, you know. you start to root for the killer. In this, you're just waiting for the film to end. It's this scene and then this scene, that scene, the end. And just tagging its name to a beloved cult classic in the original Fog, in hopes of making cash. They have made little tweaks to it. They made tweaks to the ghosts, which, again, you're going to hear me go on about this, but the CG ghosts, and not only does it look shit, it's not in the least bit terrifying. There's no atmosphere. There's no atmosphere whatsoever. There is no point where you feel tense. There is no point where you want the characters to get away. And that's the difference between a good horror film and a bad horror film, is how you care about the protagonists. And in films like this, they're just either shitty human beings or just very dull. Just very, very, very dull. Anyway, it's set in Clichéville, where you have the obligatory creepy old man, the doom merchant, and plot conveniences around every corner. Like I say, the acting in it, again, it's kind of like with the Paranormal Activity film I saw the other day. There's all kinds of traumatic things that are going on, and they're reacting as though, you know, they've just dropped the pint of milk. You know, they're about to pour it into the Cocoa Pops and they dropped it and it's on the floor and it's that. Oh. That's the reactions they're getting in this film to traumatic events, to seeing dead bodies, to seeing ghostly things happen, corpses coming back to life. It's just, oh, I'm okay after 10 minutes. The ghosts look like something from a kid's show. It looked like something from a Goosebumps episode. An episode of Goosebumps. It was poor, lazy CG. And it is. It's just very. This is a standard film, by the numbers, get from A to B. Never mind character development. Don't bother about that. Never mind character arcs. Scene 1, scene 2, repeat, rinse, dry, the end. They do change the ending to this slightly, to something ridiculous. Okay, spoiler ahead, I don't care. You can stop the video. The Jamie Lee, for anyone who's seen the original, the Jamie Lee Curtis character in this is actually the sixth person the ghosts are coming back to get. Basically, the town is cursed, and the founders of the town murdered people and robbed off them to keep, to keep their stranglehold on the town. And these ghosts are coming back for revenge. And there's 6 of the original Founding Fathers bloodlines still alive in the town, and she's the 6th one. But she doesn't get killed. She kisses the ghost and goes back with them. Yeah, it's rubbish. It's pants. I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be. I've not heard a single positive thing about it. But I've not done the thing of, let's compare it to the original, because you're going to be disappointed. It's very, very rare that, I'm going to talk from the horror world point of view, that a remake is better than the original. Off the top of my head, I think The Fly, David Cronenberg's Fly is absolutely brilliant, and is better than the original. Not that the original's terrible, it's the campy B film of the 50s. David Cronenberg took it in a completely different direction. So off the top of my head, that's the one I can think of which is better. But you can do a good job with a remake. Dawn of the Dead was a good film. They didn't change it an awful lot, really. They just amped up the speed of the zombies, and it was in a modern setting, and it worked well. The Hills of Eyes, I really like that. Again, I don't think there's any difference from the original in terms of what happens to the characters, but in that you just get this 15-20 minutes at the beginning where they're just talking to each other, having conversations that we have in real life. and that endears you to them. You immediately care about them, and that's where you get with the original Fog, which is what I watched last night. Kind of doing it in reverse, going back in time. With John Carpenter's The Fog, immediately the mood is set. Immediately the mood is set. You got John Houseman telling the old story of how the town came to be. Then there's no soundtrack, just little creepy things happening here and there, really setting the atmosphere, and straight away it gets it. Then in comes Tom Atkins. If you don't have Kurt Russell, get Tom Atkins. He just picks up Jamie Lee Curtis, and they just have a little 2 minutes conversation, and straight away you kind of like them, you're laughing along with them. Character development. We're not finding out the innermost, darkest secrets, but there's character there. They're not just... In the remake, it's just... They're just saying a line to each other. It's all exposition, and not the kind of conversations that anyone in real life would have. Whereas just a little thing like that, straight away, you give a shit about the characters in the original one. The original one is a classic. It really is. And at a time where John Carpenter was just banging hits out left, right and centre. Very beloved film. Great soundtrack. A good cast. Characters you care about. You just use fog machines. And the fog machine is way more effective than the crappy, pooey CG that you get in the Fog remake. Yeah, I didn't like the Fog remake, you might get that. However, the original Fog is a classic. It really is. I can't recommend it highly enough. I always find it a great Halloween film. Not that it's not set around Halloween or anything like that. It's just a good spooky ghost tale. And that's what I kind of like to associate with Halloween, not gore fests. For me, great Halloween type films are the ones that set that atmosphere. There is a nostalgia thing to it. It's a film I used to watch as a kid every Halloween, along with Halloween 3. The most Halloween film of all time. I'll fight you. So yes, days 6 and 7 of the 31-day horror challenge. The Fog original, absolutely thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. Great film. If you haven't seen it, please give it a go. The remake, it was crap. It was crap. Not as a. Here's the thing. It wasn't crap as a remake, because it pretty much followed the same thing. They just had a few little tweaks here and there, which didn't do anything for the film. Which is where I then think, well, it's just a cash-in then. If you want to remake a film as a filmmaker, surely you want to make a better film. That would be what your drive is, what your goal is to make a better film. And when I see an effort like this, it's like, well, that wasn't your goal, was it? You just throw any crap together. It's called The Fog. People remember The Fog. Get John Carpenter to stick his name on it, have absolutely no creative input whatsoever, and hopefully we can make some money. I don't think it did, because I'm sure if it did, we would have even if it broke even, we'd probably have like a straight to DVD, The Fog 2, The Next Roll. If we can have a Slapshot 2 and a 3, then surely there could be another Fog film. But I'm guessing it was that bad. I've not heard a single positive thing about it. If you have a positive thing to say about it, please leave it in the comments. So yes, days 6 and 7 chalked off on the 31-day horror challenge. I don't think I'll be making a video tomorrow. I have busy things to be doing, and the wrestling is on that night. So it may be 2 videos on Monday. But until then, sayonara.